Hello, we are back here with another Krita tutorial. So let's go straight into Krita. But first, what are we going to be doing today? We are going to be looking at the Bezier curve tool. This is an exercise that I gave my students. The exercise was to draw the coconut tree on the beach and to fill it in with some color. So this is what a finished exercise would look like. This is finished exercise. But first, before we go any further, let us try to get an understanding of how it works here. So the first thing is, first click on the start point of your curve. So when I say click, I need to let people know for this specific one that you are clicking and letting go. There's a difference between clicking and holding the button in, right? I would use the term hold. So let's go over this again. First, click on the start point of your curve. Move to the next point on the curve. This time, click and hold the button on the mouse. While holding the left button, drag the mouse around to smoothen your curve. Then click to confirm. Move to your next point on your curve. Click and repeat the process. To end drawing a curve, hold Alt button on keyboard and drag the red guide into the last point of the curve, then click. So this is a bit technical, but we will be going through it today, so don't worry about it. Let us go over into Krita. And the first thing we are going to do is we are going to start on a new file. So we come here, we can either press Ctrl N, that is the shortcut, or we can just simply click here. So I'll press Ctrl N and see what happens. And it brings up the new file document. As usual, all my files are created on an 11 by 8.5 size sheet. And this is the orientation that I'm using, landscape. Okay, so once I've done that, I click OK. I click create, sorry. Okay, so now we are in Krita. And to zoom in and out, you press the middle mouse button and you can just wheel it forward and backward, and that allows you to zoom. Another thing is you can press the space bar and you can just click click on the left mouse button and drag it around while you're holding space bar. Or you can just press and let go. So you can press space bar, start to drag it around, and you can let go of space bar. This comes in handy later on. That's why I felt the need to let you guys know of these extra options. Okay, so now I need to bring in my image. This is the image that I'll be using. It's called Golden Mean Tree. So let's minimize this and let's go over to our tools. And I'm going to be using the reference image tools. Okay, so I click there. And then I come under my tool options. And then I click add reference image. So once I've done that, then I can find my image. I find my image and I can then resize my image by clicking on this blue box, this blue square here, and just dragging it out. Left clicking, that's what I mean. So I think that's good there. And, yeah, it's cool. That's cool. And one thing I'm going to do before I start is turn down my opacity. So turn it down to about 38. That's good. Actually, let me just check something here. All right, just leave it at 38. And that's good. 38 opacity. To exit the menu, you go on to the arrow, select Shapes Tools, and click out here into the gray. All right, so you have exited that menu. Now, before we start, we need to select a brush or instrument size. That's the best thing I should say, an instrument size. So I'm going to come down here and I am looking for a nice brush to use. I usually use this brush, basic 5 size. I use that brush to keep it simple. All right, Then once I have that brush selected, what am I going to do? I'm going to go over to the tool that I'm going to be using, which is the Bezier curve tool. And it says shift mouse click ends the curve. We click in here on the Bezier curve tool. And then I'm going to resize my brush, and I go here where I can resize it. And once I can move it with my mouse, I can then type in 3, enter. And I know I get it exactly how I want it, which is 3 pixels. Now, lastly, before drawing, I need to draw this using a vector layer. This is very important. So I'm going to click on this down arrow. And then I go and select my vector layer. Okay, so I have my vector layer. I'm actually going to delete my paint layer because I don't need that. Go back onto the vector layer. I have my brush, my instrument size, which is the basic 5 size, the instrument, the tool that I'm using, the Bezier curve tool, the size that I'm using, which is 3 pixels, it's up here. And lastly, I now need to select a color. So I'll go over to my advanced color selector. And I just drag down this. Or if it is too small and you guys want to adjust, you can come here to these handles that are represented by a series of dots, and you just click. Once you see your mouse turn like this with 2 arrows, an arrow up and an arrow down, you just click hold and you just drag it down. So wherever you see those, you can use those handles to actually arrange things, arrange the size of things in the Dockers. So I think this is good enough, good size. I'm going to go select a color. I usually like that color. Use that. I know, I just like that for outlining. And now I'm going to start drawing. So what's the first thing that I need to do? I need to decide how am I going to tackle this. I'm actually going to start from down here. So I'm going to first click and let go. And then I go to my second point. I can either click straight here and then curve it, but I'll just find a midpoint. And now when I click again, I'm going to hold and pull. And I'm literally pulling to get this into the shape that I want. All right. And once I've gotten that in there, what I can do is I can hold down my Alt button. All right, so I got it correct. Hold my Alt button and then bring this red dot back to here and click. All right. And that's how we've drawn a curve. Just like that. Okay, so let's do this again. I'm going to click at my start, 1 click only, release my hand off the mouse, and then I pull it to where we'll consider a half point. Because I really want to go here, this completes the full curve, but I don't want to do it in one bite. I want to take this in 2 steps. So I click here, hold, and pull. I'm literally pulling on the red dotted line. Right? That is an invisible line to guide me to shape my curve. Once I get it into the position I want, while still holding down the mouse, I then hold Alt. So I'm literally holding 2 things. I'm holding Alt and I'm holding down on the left mouse button. Then I'm pulling this back into here while holding Alt, click it, and then this allows me to finish that curve. And now I can go on to another curve. And then I want to end this curve here. So then I click and I drag it out like that. Okay. And then hold down Alt while left clicking and bring this in. Click. Good. So now that's that. Then I'm going to bring this down here. Do the same thing. Click, left click, and drag out. When I get it to the position that looks close enough. Okay, I think that's good. Hold down my Alt, bring that back in. Click, and then I continue here. So down to here. And if you want to go back because you made a mistake, you can just right click on your mouse and it carries you back. Like I think I made a mistake here. So right click and then I'll put in this better. So I click, drag. Right, so I get it in position, hold my Alt and bring it in. And then good. Then I can continue. Click there, drag it out, drag it, shape it, hold Alt, bring it in, holding Alt, and click there. All right, and then shape that, shape it, hold Alt, bring it in, then that's it. So that is one shape there using the Bezier curve tool, right? So let us continue now, and we're gonna pick up the pace, and I'll be putting in the 1, 2, 3 leaves on the left, and then 1, 2, 3 leaves on the right, the moon, and then the ocean. So now let us try something slightly different. I can click here. I'm going to show you another strategy. So say if I click and I made my curve just like this. It's not exactly done properly, but that's the purpose of what I'm trying to show you. And then I do that, bring that in, and I bring that back to here. All right, and let's see. Okay, good. Hold my Alt and bring that back in. Good. So that's my second curve, but I made a slight mistake around here. How do I edit this? I can go over to this tool, which is called the shape. Oh, sorry, it's called the Edit Shapes tool. Click there. And then if you realize that now my pointer turns different. This is my original pointer, which is a white pointer. Once I go over to the shape Edit tool, my pointer turns different. It's now a black pointer. And this allows me then to now click on the shapes that has been drawn, provided I am in a vector layer, right? I can do this. Now I can come here, and now I'm going to left click against this area that's out of position. And then I'm going to pull this back in. Like click and hold, like if you want to pull it, and you can just pull it back in and influence the curve this way. That's one way. Or I can grab on the antenna here and I can influence the curve this way. All right. So that's how to edit, which is very important. And just bring this down here. Yep. Because it's not every time when you draw something you're going to get it drawn properly at this stage, right? Okay, I'll leave that there and move on to another curve. So that's how to draw with the Bezier curve tool, and that's how to edit the shapes drawn. Edit shapes tool. Okay, so we go back to the Bezier curve tool, and while still on the vector layer, we draw another shape. Let's see if we can get this done in 2 bites. That's 1, 2. Let's see. Can I? No, it's not going to work. Don't even try. Probably it could work if I had more skill, but it might take me longer to sit down there and find the right position to pull this in. And I can just do this. Pull Alt, come in, press that there, pick that up down there, curve, pull Alt, bring that back in, then come back down to there. Oh, okay. And get it done. Pull Alt, bring that back in. That's finished. All right, that's 1, 2. And then this one, click here. Might be able to come here and do this one time. Hold Alt, bring that into there. Click there. Click and hold. Oops. Click and hold, drag. Hold Alt, bring it into there. Click around here. Just shape this. Hold Alt, bring it back to there. Good. That's another shape. This is a nice little exercise to practice using the Bezier curve tool. It's really simple. You can get a nice, interesting drawing when you're finished. Right? Oh, and another thing about this Bezier curve tool, you can use it to draw straight lines too. Yeah, like I'll just explain here. You could just draw. And, you could draw like things like that, and then I can come back and edit this whole thing. Right? Just push that against there and pull that against there and do all sorts of interesting, make all sorts of interesting formations. So that was just me showing you off how you can draw something looking like a box and then shape it into whatever you want to. All right, back to business now. Let's click here. Let's click around here, hold, drag, shape. Let's do Alt. Click, hold, drag, shape. Alt. Come here and let this thing. Right. Click right there. Hold, Alt, and bring it back in. Now I tend to draw like at this zoom, which is called like 50%. Yeah, 50%. I guess I can see everything. I can hold down my shift and palm around now. So I'm at 50% zoom, where I can see the majority of my drawing without having to zoom in too close to anything. I can come here, start off by the center. Let's break this curve in right here. Hold Alt, click and drag. Hold Alt, click right back to here and see if we can shape this in one. Hold Alt, bring it back in. That's it. Right. So we've got the tree in. That's the good thing. Now let us put in the moon. I can click here at the start point. Click there around halfway. And I'm going to show you another trick now. Now that is around halfway. I'm not going to hold Alt to bring in the red dash line. I'm just going to click. All right. And then this allows me to continue a loop. All right. But I don't like this loop that was generated. So I'm just showing you that's the reason why we use Alt. Because now I want to end here. This has an extra loop. So let's go back. So I can click here. Create this curve on this side. And then I can hold Alt and bring in. I still want a little bit of loop. So I'll just bring it into about here and then click. Whereas I get some loop. Now I can bend it like that. Hold Alt and bring it back in. Click. I can even, no, I'll just go to this halfway point. Curve it. Cool, pull Alt, bring it in. Now I'm going to bring it all in because I want a little loop. So I'm just going to bring it into there and then just click. That allows me then to shape this last point. Okay, good. So that's it. That's my moon in. And now the last thing I need to put in is my water. Now, how am I going to put in this water? This can be a bit tricky, but let me explain. I'm going to use the Bezier curve tool and press here. And can I press and hold down shift? When I press and hold down shift, nothing happens. When I press and hold down Ctrl while gripping the tool, my eyedropper comes up. This allows me to pick a color, but this is a black and white, so this is not going to work. While I hold down Alt, while I'm drawing, nothing happens. Everything happens after the click, but I can drag this line across here and get it straight and then click. All right, so I kept it straight like that. Now I'm going to come over here, probably about here, and then influence the curve on this side. Click, and yes, I didn't bring it back in because I wanted a little loop, so I just work with the loop given, and then I'm going to just pull it out. Once I click at my final point, I'm then going to drag, and then I can hold Alt and bring it back into here, and that's it. So what have I done? I've created my shapes, all my shapes. Now what I need to do is put in my colors. So let's look at this now. I'm going to be using these colors, and these colors are, when I put them in, you'll see. So let's go here now. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to go back and place on my tool options, and I'm going to click, which is my selector tool, and come around and select the ones that I want. So the first thing I'm going to select is the trunk. Now, this is something that a lot of students would be struggling with. So say imagine I have my trunk here selected, but I want my moon. How do I get my moon? Now, what I can do, let me go back. I think I Ctrl Z and move something out of place. I can select here, but it's going to select my trunk. Now, if I want to select my moon, I have to hold Ctrl while going over the selection, and it gives me the selection that I want when I hold Ctrl. If I don't hold Ctrl, it wouldn't actually zero in past that selection there. So always hold Ctrl and select, and you will get exactly what you want. All right, so let's go down the line, and I am going to put in the moon. The moon, what color is the moon? If I remember correctly, the moon is a color called Calamansi, which I think is right here. Calamansi, yep, that's my moon. What else? This is a coconut. Is that the color? Let's check. Yeah, that's the color I use. And then these leaves are all different colors, so I can mix them up. I use a jungle green, so I can go jungle green here. And let me show you something. If I want to save time, I click here, but I want to click this other leaf to the right side. So I'm going to hold shift and click. So I have both of them selected now. Now with that option, I can come here and select the color while having both of them, and it will place the fill into both selections. So that saves me time by just selecting and then pressing shift and going to the next one and selecting while holding shift. The only thing I don't like about it is that it slightly moves things out of place if you are not careful, right? So be careful when you press, right? Like I press there, and then I press shift, and I see things slightly move out of position. Anyway, once you recognize that, you can put them back into position. So this one is deep. Now what color would be? This would be jungle green, or was this one jungle green? This was jungle green. So we'll go with avocado, right? Avocado, yeah. And then these last two, I'm holding shift. What would they be? They would be, let's go with, I could choose anything. Chlorophyll green. I'll probably do that, yeah. I know this one down here, this is going to be deep aquamarine. So you can click that and let's look for that. So if I don't find it quickly, I'll just choose any color to represent the water, right? So I choose this color. Yeah. Now, so it looks like my chunk is in the water. Easy fix. Click onto the tree chunk, and then once it's selected and you can see this red dot in the middle, now you have to do a right click. Go to the option, bring to front. And that brings it to the front. All right, easy, just like that. Now the last thing now we need to do before we finish this is we need to place a circle on the outside around this. So what I can do is I can turn off this. Yeah, it's still there. I'm going to turn off this so it doesn't confuse me. And then I'm going to go on to a new layer, new vector layer. Then I'm going to grab the ellipse tool because I want to draw a circle. And I'm going to draw my circle from the center. So how do I do that? I come to where I think the center is, click start drawing, and then press Ctrl. And this allows me to basically influence the circle if I am drawing from the center. Now another thing, I want it to be a circle. So it's going to be hard for me to influence it by just pressing Ctrl. So I'm going to be pressing, I'm still having my Ctrl hold down, but I'm going to add to that. I'm going to press shift to that. This allows me to constrain the tool so that I can get a circle. If I let go of my shift, then I can alter the tool, alter drawing, and change this into an ellipse. But if I want the circle option, I have to hold shift, and then it gives me my circle option. So I'm going to create a circle about this big here, and I just now going to move it, right? I'm going to click here to move it, but I want to move it slightly. So I'm going to be pressing Alt on the keyboard and then be pressing my left arrow key while holding Alt. This allows me to move like baby steps. This allows me to do these baby steps so I can move this into position properly. Right, I think that's good enough. That looks good. All right, so I'm going to give this circle a thickness now. All right, so let me select it and give it a thickness. I'm going to give it a thickness of 10. 10, and then I'm going to give it a color. Right, and I'm going to put a fill in it too. Not a brown, I'm going to put a nice ice blue. Something. Diamond? Yeah, I'll go with diamond. Why not? And I'm going to turn on my layers. But what happens? Because this layer is on the top, you're not going to see. So I'm going to take this layer, grab it here in the layers panel, just hold it down and pull it under my vector layer. Now, if you didn't want to do that, let's go over this process. We can click here, select the layer, and then just press move layer or mask down. That's how you do it also. So you can use these buttons or you can actually hold and drag it into position. Now let's look at this. This is underneath there, but let me see, can I actually add a blending mode onto this to enhance this? So I'm going multiply. No, I don't think so. No, so just leave it at normal, right? And that's it. So this is how I drew the coconut tree on the beach with the moon in the background using a Bezier curve tool. Okay, so let us recap now here, coming to the end. Today we went through the Bezier curve tool option. Where would you find the Bezier curve tool? You'll find that over on the left side of the screen if you start the program from default, and it looks like this: Bezier curve tool. Right, just like that. I always advise students, whenever you exploring in this program, click on the tool and then click on the tool options and just read the tool options so you can fill, foreground color, not fill, sorry. When you go into the fill, there's a not fill, there's a foreground color option, there's a background color option or pattern. What are our foregrounds? Our foregrounds are right here. What are our backgrounds? Our backgrounds are the ones on the bottom here. Background, foreground. So that's when they talk about background or foreground, you can go there and switch the colors. You can use this with a brush to outline, but when I say brush outline, they mean that whatever brush you have selected down here will be selected for your outline. I like the word instrument, not really brush, because you could have selected a pencil, but it would still be considered a brush there. What else do we have in this? Not much really to help us. There's auto smooth curve. You can click there. I've never really explored that. But generally, how this works, you click your first point, just single click, and then your second point is when you then start to influence the curve. You click and then you pull, and that's it. And you click and then you pull. And to end the curve, you just click, just like that. What else do we need to talk about before I end? Oh yeah, you can click and you can edit. So let's bring up this curve again. Okay, good. So right, I got a shape. Well, I got two lines there. Let me create a shape. So I can just create a triangle. Yeah, now I can edit this. And I can make this now that. And I can turn this into something interesting. Can you bring this? I can also edit by pulling on the handles, left clicking. And pull on that handle. Also, what can I do? I can also add. This is very important. I can add to this curve. So if I want to, I can come here, just hover over there and then insert a point. Also, what can I do? I can remove points or I can break segments, but I'll just insert a point. So insert a point, and then that means at that point is where I can have further influence on the curve. So that's just a little recap there for you. And this brings us to the end of this tutorial. The main thing is when using this tool, you need to be on a vector layer. Yep, a vector layer for best editing purposes. And you select your brush from in the brush presets. You select your size. I've been using size 3 pixels for everything except my outline. My outline is on a size 5. And with this tool, anytime you want to fill, you can, once you've drawn your option, you can find all of your fill options and all of this information under the tool options. So you can adjust the color of the line. You can also adjust the fill that you are placing inside. All right. So I think that's it. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the Bezier curve tutorial. Once again, thank you for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe. All right, and lastly, practice, practice, practice. Take care. I am out.